Yay. Okay. It looks like we are live. Welcome, 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 everyone. Guys, we are back, baby. I feel like it has been a while since we've done one of these amazing live streams. And I just wanted to say, you know what? It's time. It's about time. New year, right? New year, new opportunity, connect with the community. I'm like, okay, I still have breakfast for me, guys, but it is okay. Welcome, everyone. Today we're talking 75 gems, right? So, getting started with your investing journey with short-term rentals or midterm rentals in 2024 does not have to be a big fat mystery. And that is why we're here today. We are launching, as usual, our top 75 US cities with the highest profitability for short-term and midterm rentals for 2024. We've done this in 2021. We've shared with you this list in 2022, 2023, and now we are in 2024. So most real estate investors, when they are going into the year, this year, I know that they're looking to evaluate, you know what? Did I do well in 23? Some investors are telling me, you know what, they're going to cut their losses. And some of them are looking to sell their properties. Some are going to leave short-term rentals altogether for good and look at some new investing strategies like halving is going to happen with cryptocurrency. That's been the biggest buzz. I think something happened on the 10th too, big time on crypto. But at the end of the day, a lot of mistakes were made back in 2022, 2023, because we had some unrealistic expectations. We did not run our numbers, right? And that is why a lot of individuals are hurting. Personally, for our portfolio, we saw an uptick of 15% in increase in revenue for our portfolio for the properties that were fully launched that have been in operation over the last year. But sadly, this is not the truth for many. So the truth is that many investors are tens of thousands of dollars in the hole. Some are suffering from a lack of bookings due to an increase in the number of properties in their market, due to an increase in saturation potential. Some are bottoming out their prices. They're experiencing lower nightly rates. So average daily rate used to be right at a higher number, but now they're experiencing low nightly rates. Some are experiencing bad reviews due to operational inefficiency. So this is causing more problems. Some are operating at a loss. I do not want that for you, my friend. I do not want that for you. And so that is why I launch this list at the beginning of the year, every year, because the foundation, the first step is to identify which markets are profitable. We want to walk in to a winning situation. You have to run the numbers. You have to run numbers. You have to run numbers for yourself and not just be blinded by what everyone else is saying about the market. Because the thing is, 2020 numbers are not today's numbers. Okay. The math is not mathing for many of you. And so it's hard to see what you can potentially generate when you're in debt up to your eyeballs. Like Dave Ramsey said, I'll call myself a reformed Dave Ramsey grad. You're in debt up to your eyeballs. Some of you may be upside down, but I want to ensure that this changes, this shifts for you as you look into 2024 and on a number of levels. So the first foundation is number one, run the numbers before you get into an investment. And second of all, and I'll share this at the end, an opportunity for you, for those of you who are already investing, who already have a property and you cannot necessarily offload it. How do we right the ship, right? How do we get into profitability? How do we breathe life back into our STR property? So I'm going to do this for a second. I want to see who all is with us. I want to make sure that we're live. Okay, I see quite a few people are in the Facebook group. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know who's here. Let me know in the chat who is here with us. And for those of you who are just joining, I am using a platform called Restream. So you may need to go to chat.restream chat.io/Facebook. That's chat.restream.io/Facebook to let me know who you are and what your name is so that I can say hello and I can address it. Serena, hey lady, how are you? Where you been? Oh my gosh, it is so good to see you. Serena is a member of our community. So happy that you're here with us. Serena's joining us on LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn is coming in hot, my friends. This is so good. All right, let's see who else is here. Say hello. Feel free to say hello. And then we're going to dive right in. And I'm actually going to pull up Slack, Nicia. I believe that, okay, I believe that Tori shared with you a link that I should share in here for the thank you page if people are not able to grab the 75 gems sheet. Yeah, I may just share it myself. So let me know who else is here and we're going to dive into the presentation, my friends. Let's do this. All right, I've got so many screens going, but it is all good. All right, so let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick and share with you all. Hang on. My Zoom disappeared on me. It is all good. All righty, dear friends. Let's talk about 75 gems of 2024. So my goal is to share with you essentially how to navigate the 75 gems sheet. And for those of you who haven't received it yet, if you go to 75gems.com, that's 75gems.com, feel free to download that 75 gems document. It will be in your email. If you have not received in your email, no worries. I'm going to drop it in the link, okay? So we're talking about 75 gems for 2024. I want your full attention because we're going to dive really heavily into the numbers, my dear friend, okay? And I was speaking a little bit earlier about some of the struggles that I have seen in the short-term rental realm because the elephant in the room is that Shelby Church, she is a YouTuber. She spoke about how she bought a house for $775 in Palm Springs to rent out for her short-term rental. This was back in mid-2023. And now she is stating that not only is it not as profitable as she thought, but due to regulations, she is giving up on Airbnb as a whole. And here's the deal. The reason I mention her is because she is an influencer. She has over 1 million followers, and she has had the opportunity to just really share her story of the struggles that she had encountered, of some of the mistakes that I clearly see that she had made. Unfortunately, she put in over $200,000 of renovations, which is an absolute no-no. We want to be in cash flow as soon as possible, and the goal is to have the property up and running within 30 days. So mistakes were made for sure. Her making a blanket statement that she's giving up on Airbnb due to quote unquote Airbnb bust is something that we're hearing over and over and over again. But I want to warn you against just these types of blanket statements. And I want to encourage you to really look at your property, look at the profitability potential in the markets that you are looking to invest in, and look at based on bedroom count, based on demand metrics, based on seasonality, your gross yield. So there are some metrics that I think a lot of people are missing out on and are ignoring when it comes to short-term rentals. But before the numbers, regulation always come before numbers. So we saw several regulatory constraints that occurred in 2023, including New York. And when it comes to regulations, the first thing I want you to do is look at the regulation that is closest to the property that can impact the property the closest. So first and foremost, you want to look at the HOA. Okay, I do not love HOA. I actually prefer to avoid HOA as much as possible, but this is a framework that I use. The HOAs, some markets are very HOA heavy, so HOA is going to be something very important to look at. And you need to look at what's called the CCNR, which is the covenants, the conditions, and restrictions. Because oftentimes the HOA is going to overrule any and all of the rules that are based on the county, the municipality, and the township. So it is best to start with the HOA. From there, I would go to Google. Excuse me. I'm still getting over this cough from the winter, guys. But I would go to Google and I would search for short-term rental ordinance of that particular city, of that particular county, municipality, township, or parish. So what you're looking for in Google, you would go into this next little diagram. For those who are listening in and you're not watching, I have a graphical of the short-term rental ordinance framework that we use whenever we are looking to launch a short-term rental in a market that we are unfamiliar with. Okay, so what you're looking for at Google is the municipality code or the MUNI code, and what that does is it spells out for you what the ordinance is. What are the rules? Like, do you have to get the fire department to come in to inspect the property? Do you need special signage with the escape routes? All of that is spelled out in the municipality code. From there, you want to call the county clerk's office, especially if you don't find anything in the municipality code. You want to call the county clerk's office to ask for what is the short-term rental ordinance of this particular town. And if there are no regulations, here is the million-dollar question that you must ask is what is in draft? Okay, what is in draft? This is also very important. This gets missed every single time. And the goal is to share and provide any type of paperwork or paper trail that is in draft. Okay, so guys, I'm getting that. You ever get that weird feeling like, I wonder if people are seeing and watching this. So I'm going to look on my phone to make sure that I'm showing up live on that link that I share with you, Nicia. Please feel free to confirm with me that we are good to go on that link. And I may just, okay, awesome. I'm still showing offline for some reason. Darn it. So for some reason, I'm showing offline and it's not loading. So let me share this with the team. Yeah. Okay. So that did not work as expected, guys. I'm not thrilled about that. Okay, we need to figure out. Oh, it says offline. Anyway, all right, so we need to figure out what's going on there. Um, either way, hopefully, if there's anyone looking to find us, Nicia, we can make sure that they get maybe the Facebook group link or the YouTube channel link where we are live. All right. So guys, let me go back actually. So from there, I called the zoning department. I want to know what's in draft, okay? Because what's in draft is going to really inform you what is coming down the pike in terms of regulations for that particular market. Guys, like my coach says, come back to me if you're multitasking because this has saved a lot of our members heartache and a lot of money by making sure that we understand what the ordinances are in a particular market. So make sure you know what is live as well as what is in draft so that you can get an idea of the community sentiment for short-term rentals. The last thing you want to do is going to a market that's completely banned short-term rentals. That's going to be frustrating for you, frustrating for your guests, and frustrating for the actual residents who live there. It is not a vibe. There are a variety of ways to navigate those situations, but right now we're just high level talking about this particular workflow. Okay. All right. So from there, you want to look at a variety of news articles. I said newspaper articles. Who here uses a newspaper still? Not a lot of people. I know I don't read a newspaper. My husband, he used to love reading newspapers, but he just reads online articles now. So not a lot of people use a physical article newspaper, but go online and see what the entities, the stakeholders, the bodies that regulate and create the rules in your particular location, see what they're saying about short-term rentals, see what the sentiment is, and that's going to better inform you as to what you are able to do in your particular market. Okay, so very, very important. All right, so I have some really interesting numbers to share with you. So this is a particular market. It is highly regulated. This is an evaluation that I was doing not too long ago, and that's why I shared these numbers are really, really high. This is not your usual revenue potential, but I was evaluating a property called the Glass House in the Hamptons. It was a deal that came across my desk, and I leveraged tools like AirDNA to know my numbers. I leveraged tools like Data Rabu to evaluate my numbers, and I came up with as well as Rank Breeze has some opportunity there. I use those tools to take a look at those numbers. But at the end of the day, the key performance indicators that AirDNA publishes, or actually Airbnb publishes on an annual basis, or three KPI to determine whether or not a location is investable. Two of them are, I would say, pretty valuable, but the third one is not as valuable, and I'll explain to you why in a moment. Okay, so the investing KPIs are the rental demand, the rental growth, and the investability. And that is how Airbnb is able to come up with their investor score. And so the rental demand is really how often are properties being booked throughout the year. Okay. How often are they being booked throughout the year? That is really a combination of the annual occupancy rate, the listing growth rate, and the metric is relative to the travel demand in a variety of markets. Okay. So one market may have more demand than the other. That is how that number is dictated to us and shared with us. Okay, so keep that in mind. Next is the rental growth. Okay, revenue growth. Revenue growth. You're asking the question, did these properties earn more this month than they did last year during the same month? Okay, so we're in January of 23, January of 24. Did your property earn more in January of 24 than it did in January of 23? And I know the month isn't over yet, but that is what essentially revenue growth is like. Okay. So that's essentially calculated by looking at what's the year over year change, and that's called the revenue per available rate. The RevPAR is what they're looking at. Okay, and the third metric that you need to know, but not fully lean into or fully believe in, unfortunately, is the investability score. And what is the investability score? It's essentially the home value. So, are the home versus the rental income. Okay, so I call that like the gross yield. So, the home values versus the average uh, income that you should generate will determine the investability score. So this is something that I've asked them to do away with, and I think they are going to do away with it this year, just because my biggest beef with this particular score is the home values. What they're using for home values is the Zillow home values, and that's a problem because home values in a market is a bit precarious. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you go to the Gulf Coast, in the Gulf Coast, okay, let me see. Yay, we're live. Awesome. So in the Gulf Coast, you have, for instance, on US Highway 98, all the properties above Highway 98 are valued at $200,000, $300,000. And then all the properties below Highway 98 are short-term rental properties only. Okay, they can be short-term rented. Everything above cannot be short-term rented. Those are primary residence and it's banned above Highway 98 in this particular market. So all the properties that have banned short-term rentals, these are long-term residents, those properties are valued at $200,000, $300,000, but below Highway 98, those properties are valued at $900,000 and $2 million, right? And so when you average those, you get somewhere around $500,000 or $600,000. You're thinking, wow, this is a great market. The average property value is $500,000 or $600,000 that I can then go in short-term rent and generate $100,000 in revenue per year. Well, that is false. That is false. That is false. All the properties that you can short-term rent are actually 900,000 and above, which is above the threshold of where we recommend many of our members to invest. Okay. So let me know in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down, and if you're picking up why I don't love the investability score. It's a necessary evil. It actually works in certain markets, but it totally does not work and in key markets that I think are very, very important. So let me know if you are picking up what I am putting down with that. Okay. So without further ado, if you go to 75 Gems, you should receive an email for a page that looks like this. What I want you to do is to make a copy. So go file and make a copy. And if you did not get the link, let me know now. I am more than happy to share the link with you. So you go to file and make a copy. And from there, you will have a few tabs to look at. Okay. So one of the tabs will encompass the 2024 numbers, and then the other tab will encompass the 2023, just as a reference point for you. Okay. So a few things here. I want to share with you how the document is kind of broken up. We have large markets, we have medium markets, we have small markets. This year, I didn't add the small markets to the list just because I felt as though the small markets, the struggle is real with finding resources and support. I may go back in and add some small markets, but I did not feel the desire to add in the small markets. Okay. So this actual document is hot off the press. I'm going to dive into the specific document in a moment, but I just want to make sure that you have an idea of the anatomy and the physiology of the document before I dive all the way in, okay? So large market as populated to the top when you initially open it. Medium markets is in the middle, and then small markets is towards the bottom, okay? So what does large, medium, small mean? Well, large markets means that there are over 1,000 listings in this particular market. Okay, that's what it means. There are over 1,000 active short-term rental listings in this particular market. Medium market means there are 100 to 999 listings, and small means less than 100 listings that are active in this particular market. Okay. And so there are some advantages and disadvantages and pros and cons to small, medium, and large. I love to live in the medium markets for some reason because I find a variety of short-term and mid-term rental properties in the medium markets, and I love that hybrid model. So that's why I love to live there. When it comes to small markets, the biggest advantage is, of course, you're not going to have a lot of competition. Again, these are less than 100 listings, so not a ton of competitions. You can probably get away with using grandma's old printed furniture that is like not the greatest and still generate revenue in these types of markets. But the biggest disadvantage or the biggest struggle is that in the smaller markets, you're not going to have enough resources. You're not going to have enough cleaners to help you out, handymen to help you out. you're just going to be essentially on your own. And people who are the laborers in this market, they dictate the schedule. They're like, I don't clean on Thursdays, I don't clean on Sundays, I don't work the weekends. Well, when we're in the hospitality business, you do need support year round, every single day, if you're looking to generate revenue. Okay. All right. The other disadvantage of smaller markets is that the regulations oftentimes are uncertain. And so I would be nervous about, some new regulation that comes down the pike that, bans short-term rentals and you're not able to be grandfathered in. So keep that in mind. All right, medium markets. I think medium markets is such a great place to be. There is some competition, but there are a few key things. There are 7 things you can do to stand out from the crowd. And I am looking forward to sharing all of those details with you. I have an upcoming training that I'm going to invite you to. Would love, love, love for you to join me so that we can have a look at that. Okay, so with the medium markets, there is some competition, but we're not afraid of competition. The disadvantage is the regulations are oftentimes in draft. Okay. So they're still trying to figure it out, which is a good thing or a bad thing. If it's in draft, it's great to make sure that you fully launch and you're fully able to operate so that you are grandfathered. And I've seen that happen time and time again. And last but not least, large markets. I love large markets because things are established, okay? The regulations are certain, you know where you can operate, where you can't operate, the permits, all of that. The rules are laid out bare for you. But the biggest disadvantage is there's a ton of competition. It's like, oh my gosh, do I need to build an indoor, slide just like the neighbors when you're in a Disney market? Disney's market is like over 30,000, guys. It's incredible. And it is really hard to stand out from the crowd. And so you oftentimes are seeing a lot of like Mac Daddy properties, 6, 7 bedrooms. They're like $150 a night, which is like, oh my goodness. But it's because the competition is so steep. I mean, that's over the top for me. So unless I already have a portfolio of properties in that particular market and I am already ruling that market, I would be hesitant to just bring myself to that market. So yeah, I like to steer again towards the medium markets. It's a happy medium, no pun intended. But I am definitely game for that particular market. Okay. So a few things that I want to highlight for you with your 2024 top 75 list for US cities. I want to highlight for you the first column. Okay. So this is a work in progress. Guys, this is so hot off the press. We haven't linked the first column for you yet, but we are working on it. If you look on 2023, and I'll share with you the first actual cell, this is going to be linkable so that once you click the link and you pop it open, it will take you to the AirDNA Rentalizer, the free area where you have an idea of what the numbers are looking like in that market. Okay, so from there, I want to give you an overview of what this sheet entails. The first column is your city, then your state, your active short-term rental listing. What does this mean? This means the number of active short-term rentals in this particular market. Like for instance, you've got Harper's Ferry, West Virginia has 166 active listings. So this is considered a medium market because it's greater than 100 is a medium market. Okay. From there, excuse me, we have revenue potential. From there, we have home values. Again, if the market is a destination market, I would be a little bit cautious because the home values, they do vary based on short-term rental versus um, um, non-short-term rental areas. Okay. Okay. So a few adjustments that I made. I will warn you that for the 2024 list, I didn't include any properties that are less than 100 listings. I probably will add some in just to make sure that most states are represented. But yes, I did not include any. Um, Ooh, this is nice. I had a student that just purchased in Oxford, Maine. Look at the gross the gross ROI. It's insane. Okay, le- okay, focus, Rachel, focus. All right. The second thing is I didn't include properties whose home values were over 700,000. Okay. I just over the last 3 years, I'm not finding that those numbers are penciling out. So I want to keep it a little bit tighter for 2024. So I went ahead and I reduced this down based on home values. The next thing is I didn't include locations that have extreme seasonality. So that is one of the metrics that I looked at. I didn't want you guys going into markets that had extreme seasonality. I didn't include the seasonality metrics here because it's not easy to interpret, but know that I whittled it down from there. So the next column is your gross ROI. It's essentially how much revenue can you make in comparison to how much the purchase price is for the property. So revenue over home values is your gross ROI or gross yield or return on earned capital, that kind of thing. I like this number to be greater than 15%, and I think this is all we include is 15% or higher. Rental demand is here, rental growth is here, your investability score is here. And if you hover over these little boxes here, these are like my hover to discover, you'll be able to discover what the formula and the definition is. And then the final column, investability score is here. This number works only for certain markets, not all markets. And then last but not least, the market size, meaning small, medium, or large market, is to the far right-hand sides, okay? So I know I didn't get a chance to introduce myself yet, but my name is Rachel. If we haven't met, I am super passionate about a lot of things. It is because of the humanitarian efforts and the wanting to share with you guys what lifestyle freedom looks like. And wanting to have fun on my own is why I push for higher returns. So you will not catch me necessarily advocating for a huge multifamily investments or 100 doors, because I truly believe we can drive revenue and we could get really laser focused on what that looks like for our portfolio. And I believe all you need is one to two. All you need is one to two properties to be wildly profitable, because it is the return on energy for me, which is just as important as the return on investment. And I'm looking at markets and properties that are within 30 minutes of the industries that I have listed here, whether it's the airline industry or the an airline industry, 30 minutes within from an airport, 30 minutes from a hotel, from a hospital, 30 minutes from a university or a specified industry. Those properties are going to do well. Okay. So I am going to pause for now. I want to see what questions you have for me in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then we're going to go into the actual 75 gems document, because I want to make sure that I walk you through and that you understand how to navigate it. Okay. So drop your questions in the chat. Let's see who's here. Hello, hello. Okay. So I am being asked for the link. Let me grab that link for you. And I'm using a system that I'm not 100% sure about, if I'm being completely honest. So let me drop the link and you guys tell me. Hi, Maggie, I see you. Oh, goody. I see a lot of people are in here. Yay, that's awesome. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Ava, I see you, Ava. Leslie, hi, Leslie. I see you. Orally, I see you as well. Are you guys seeing the link that I dropped in the chat? Let me know. Let me know. And I'm going to, it's interesting, guys. We're getting it together. So, Nicaea, just so you know, like Restream is interesting. I'm seeing a totally different screen. Okay, got it. Ava got it. Ava's got it. Yay. So Ava's got it. Okay, Serena, finally I'm seeing your response, Serena. Serena says, I haven't seen her because she has been super busy. Girl, let me know what you've been up to. I know you have been working it. Serena's got an amazing co-hosting business where she helps other investors who are looking for support. Sometimes, guys, you don't have to do it all on your own, right? It takes a village sometimes to launch and rent out your property. So I don't want you doing it all on your own. And I'm looking at my camera angle. My camera angle is like on top of my head. So I feel like you're seeing like my part as opposed to like seeing my face. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna be okay. Everything's okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Let me know. I am, let's see. Awesome. Okay, so this is good. This is good. This is good. All right, so for those of you who are catching us on the replay, welcome, welcome, my friends. When you access the link, 75 Gems is here. How do you get to this particular document? The first thing you want to do is go to 75gems.com. Okay, so once you go to 75gems.com, you will get to a page that looks like this. This is your top 75 US cities with the highest profitability for short-term rental investing. And we have a bonus of a midterm rentals, my top 10 midterm rental as well. And it says, are you ready to dive in? You want to go here and say, yes, give it to me. Put in your name, put in your email address, put in your phone number. Phone number is optional, I believe. So I just want you to put that in to get reminders when I'm doing trainings like this so that you can jump on and get your questions answered. Okay. So once you have entered that and then you hit submit, I'm going to test it for you. You're going to get to a thank you page that looks like this. Okay. Oh, look. And once you get to the thank you page that looks like this, it says, here's the link. Here's the link to access your 75 gems. And if you missed it, I've created a quick video to explain it to you, okay? And you can have a little looky-loo here. So you click on the link and voila, you're here. Okay, so once you get here, I understand it depends if you're logged into Google, if you're not logged into Google. If you're not logged into Google, I believe it's going to ask you to download the doc. But if you logged in, it's going to show you a view only version. So just make a copy for yourself so that you can have access to manipulate the document. Okay. So do not request access for my team. Avoid that at all costs because we're not going to give you access. No offense, but we have to kind of keep it protected because we have to make edits on our own. And so if we give everyone access, everyone's going to be making edits and we wouldn't be able to have that. If you're not part of the Facebook group, I have this little link here. We should probably like make this bigger. You guys get to watch me kind of, here we go. Let's see. Make this bigger because I want you guys to join in the Facebook group so that you're aware of when we're doing these trainings and all the things. And it's a free Facebook group. So holler at me in there, my friends. And then from there, okay, this is just some instructions on how to make a copy. All right, so the top cities, though, is down here on the second tab. So you go down here to the second tab, and I'm like hovering really hard so that you can see it. So here's the top cities, and that is the second tab, which I'm super stoked about. Okay, so I'm looking in here. Oh, you remember how I mentioned like the little hover to discover? Okay, it's right there. It's not showing up the way that I want it to, but when you click on a rental demand, for instance, you can see here, I'm zooming in hard, guys. You can see here what that means, the investability, what that means, the revenue growth, what that means, okay? So that should be helpful. And if you guys need definitions for the other columns, I'm happy to add those as well. Okay, so let's talk about it. What cities are you guys seeing here that kind of surprise you? Is there anything in your own backyard that you're thinking to yourself, "Oh my gosh, this is really interesting." And one of my goals is to make sure that each state is represented and not, so I want to find the best of in each state to represent. So I'm going to add a few more just to make sure that you're feeling represented. But what's surprising you and what's shocking to you about this particular situation? Let me know in the chat. And let's see here. Let me see. And it looks like I'm looking at the YouTube. It looks like there might be a delay in our YouTube feed versus our live feed. I'm going to check for a second. Hang on, guys. Yeah, it's interesting. There is a delay. Okay, super. So I think we're caught up. Awesome. All right. So so this next tab again, how would you prefer to review these data, these pieces of data? The way I would actually review it is state specific because I'm very much geographically restrained. I think I like the Southeast a whole lot better than the West Coast just because of, the distance and being able to get there as quickly as possible. So I can search potentially by the state. From there, if I determine, the state doesn't really matter to me, I actually want to search by the locations that are tried and true and established destination locations. Well, your first portion of this document is all large markets. So these are the tried and true established markets that have over 1,000 listings. So this is interesting, right? You've got Point St. Joe. That's one of the newer kids on the block. Bryson City, North Carolina. You've got Birmingham, Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Very interesting stuff. All right. Or you can, what if you're like in Hawaii? You're like, you know what? I don't care. I just want a market or two that will meet my gross revenue goals or maybe exceed my gross revenue goals. So in that particular instance, you can let me make a copy of this because I want to keep this. You see, I'm going to make a copy. I want to keep that one kind of untainted. Okay, so from there, oh, and you know what, Nicia, you know what I think I would like? I would love it if our team could actually make this as large as possible, maybe, because I didn't see the link last time for the thank you page. So if we can make this as large as possible, that would be awesome. Okay, so that's the thank you page from 75 Gems. All right, so from there, guys, okay, here's the copy. So if I wanted to, for instance, order it from greatest gross yield to the least gross yield, you can do that. So highlight the entire sheet. So I go to the upper left-hand side, this little square here. Then I go to, is it view? Hang on. Data. You go to data and you go to sort range. Then I go down here to the advanced range sorting options. And then I click the box where it says data has a header row. And then I go to gross ROI, Z to A, meaning largest to smallest, essentially. And the whole document is sorted. Okay. So it says that the market with the highest ROI, that's 55%. The highest ROI potential is Campton, Kentucky. Okay, interesting. Um, Meaning the property home values is 94,000 and the revenue potential is 51,000, which is insane. So I would look a little bit closer to see, well, what's going on here? Because that sounds ridiculous. So let's go to Airbnb and let's see what in the world. I've never heard of Campton, Kentucky in my life. I apologize if you're from Campton, Kentucky, but I will never forget. Ooh, bro, look at this. Like a vibe, right? Okay, so this is definitely a cabin market. Oh, super cute. Super cute, super. Oh my gosh, look at this ridiculousness. Okay, so this is exciting, but the problem that I'm having is I do not see any of these costing what $90,000 to purchase. So what this tells me is, for instance, the $94,000 is probably an anomaly somewhere. Let's look at Zillow to see what's going on here. Because it's surely, it's not this guy, right? It's this guy isn't 94,000. Well, maybe it's a tree house, but oh my gosh. It's like carved into the side of a mountain, guys. How adorable. Like I have to look. I have to look. Bro, like my kids say, oh my guys, are you guys looking at this? I mean, we could have done a little bit better with making the bed, but oh my gosh. Y'all, what? Okay, bears. Sorry. I'm shocked and I'm shook. Y'all, let me get into the Facebook group because I'm gonna need I thrive and I survive off of interaction. And I know we're gonna be here for only a few more minutes, but I'm gonna need somebody in the Facebook group to tell me something about this little hideaway situation. They're trying to tell me it's a hideaway, but what about the bears? Can we talk about the bears for a second? Are we not afraid of bears? Oh, okay, let's see who's here. It doesn't it look amazing, Serena? Serena, it looks amazing, but I'm cautiously nervous as well. I'm a little bit nervous about the bears as well. Okay, awesome. I see Estella is in the Facebook group. Okay, so Estella says, I don't see my city. Okay, I'm not far from St. Joe, Omaha. Okay, gotcha. So you don't see your city yet. Dan says, looks sick, but I'd be scared of falling off the cliff. Right, Dan? I'd be scared of falling off the cliff too. Listen, and what do you think of this little situation here, Dan? Let me know. Yes, yes. Okay. So interesting, right? So let's look at the property value. So we're doing a full Campton, Kentucky. Okay, so let me remove my filters. Right. Okay, so remember, guys, like this is exactly, well, let me reset everything. Uh, there's a way to reset everything. Hang on. Any home type. Okay. All right, so I have reset everything. Let's go to Campton, Kentucky. All right. Okay, so all right, so I'm looking Campton, Kentucky. I'm gonna go from low to high and let's see. And I want to deselect everything except for houses. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just keep houses. Okay, so where's my average home value of 95,000? Where is my average home value of 95,000? When you see average, it should indicate that there are some that are 50,000, there's some that are 150,000 that's getting me there. Well, I'm not seeing my 95,000 average home value. Everything is above. I don't know. This looks like a four-car garage. Oh, it says it's a studio. What? Lord, what the? Okay, so let's look at this. This is not finished. What's happening right now? These are storage facilities, right? Like, okay. All right, we're gonna ignore everything. So the starting price is 210 for 1-1. This is so cute. But you know what I'm worried about? Does it have insulation? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm not seeing the 95,000 average home values, right? So I have a lot of questions. Like this one looks cabiny. This one, what's happening right now? Bruh. Okay, this one looks ready, right? I hope. It's 450. It's in Rogers. It's not even in Campton. Where's where's Campton? Y'all. Is Rogers right next to Campton? Maybe. Maybe look in Rogers, guys, but not don't get this coffin looking situation. Coffin garage is like, what is happening? Okay. All right. So guess what? Campton is interesting, but if I can find home values that are in the 200, 250K, that still works. The numbers still work for that. I would look there. Next, we have Grand Isle, Louisiana. We're seeing 42%. That should be interesting as well. So yeah, so have a look, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you go to the 2023 numbers, what we're able to do is link up. Boom. You see that? So the first column, we were able to link that up for you, which I absolutely love. And I'm looking forward to having all of these linked as well for the 2024. And we'll send out an email once that link is live. But I wanted to get this out to you as soon as possible because some of you are looking for properties right now. And again, this is hot off the press as of this morning. These are the top it should be the top 75 US cities with the highest profitability for short-term rentals. However, I went a little bit more and you have 102 listed here. If you hover over to the third little tab here, I have the top 10 cities with the highest demand for midterm rental. And that's according to Furnish Finder, which is a platform that is out there that the vast majority of midterm rental guests are looking on Furnish Finder as well as Airbnb. But these are the top 10 cities with the highest demand. There were over 18 million searches for midterm rental, 18 million searches for midterm rentals by the end of 2022. I'm still waiting on the 2023 numbers, but I want to make sure that you had your hands on the top cities with the highest demand. We have members of our community that are constantly hosting midterm rentals in other markets as well, but I just want to share with you the top 10 for now. Okay, so without further ado, I have one last thing that I want to share with you as promised. So we have an upcoming event where we will be sharing with you, hang on. Oh, there it is. Sharing with you some strategies to optimize your rentals. So the STR CPR conference is coming up, my friends. It is February the 2nd. I'm going to be doing an intense and in-depth training with you on a variety of ways to optimize your listing. Okay. So we're going to have some amazing speakers that will be covering creative ways to acquire properties. We'll be covering pricing optimization because sometimes it's how you price the property that matters. We don't want to give away our golden goose nights, such as our holidays for the winter, our summer holidays. So you want to price those now strategically and get as many direct bookings for those as possible. That has changed the bottom line for us. And that's what we're going to be talking about there to just kind of set up your calendar for success. We're going to talk about operational successes because operational excellence rather, because the biggest leaky bucket that exists is unfortunately sometimes due to operations. So we are investors, we have put so much money into our properties, but we are looking for a way to squeeze as much juice as we can and make sure that we are operating in a way that we're profitable from month to month. So we have a guest speaker that will be covering that. Outside of that, we're looking at just some creative strategies to a host for others, as well as, of course, the midterm rental strategy, which is one of our biggest hacks for reducing our operating costs. Our midterm rental operating costs compared to our short-term rental operating costs is so different. For short-term rentals, most people have an operating cost of 45%. For our midterm rentals, it's only 22%. So let's talk about it. If you go to strcpr.com, it is a half-day training. It is intense, actionable. We're going to be doing the work in the room, unlimited Q&A time. I look forward to seeing you there. Only $97 for 4 hours of in-depth training. Well worth it, my dear friends. Sign up. You will have opportunity to win some prizes. We're going to be doing some live listing optimizations while there as well. You do not want to miss this summit. Last year when we had the summit, it was a rave. We did the STR versus MTR SmackDown. So feel free to sign up. If you can't make it on February the 2nd at 4 p.m. Eastern, no worries. Totally watch it at your own pace. You will have access to all of the replays. So feel free to sign up. It's only $97. STR CPR, I want to log in to show you guys what that looks like. Hang on. STR CPR. Boom. And let me know if you have any final questions. STRCPR.com. And then we will wrap it up, my friends. Okay, so let's look at our Facebook group to see if there's anything else there. Let's see. Oh, it's slow loading, guys. strcpr.com. Hang on. Let's see what's going on with our page. Let me know if this is working for you, Nicia. Let me know. I'm going to try to reload it. When you go to strcpr.com, are you seeing it pop up? Let's see. Because it's not pulling up for me. Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, fantastic. So I see Nicia has dropped the link. I'm going to drop it in here as well in the chat. All right. There you go. All right, guys. Here we go. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Guys, this is what a deal. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Again, operations management, revenue manager, creative finance, co-hosting strategy, and so on and so forth. Fill out the form. Guys, $97. You will not regret it. So worth it. The amount of value that we're packing into this 4 hours, you would need to pay a significant consultant fee to get this amount of value. So go ahead and sign up. I look forward to seeing you guys on the inside. With that, I'm going to check for any final questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let me know what your questions are, my dear friends. Let's see. There we go. And then we are going to wrap it up. Okay, let's see here. All right. So not seeing any questions at the moment. Guys, I really hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I hope you had a wonderful King Day yesterday, and I look forward to seeing you all on the inside. Have a good one. Bye-bye for now. And you guys get to watch me fight for my life looking for my Zoom link as usual, but it is all good. We're going to get it